Well, the cyclonic madness in Chennai as the city is grounded and inundated in the fury of Cyclone Michaung, which is all set to make landfall off the coast of Andhra Pradesh in a few hours from now. But Chennai city, of course, bearing the brunt of that rain, of course, all the other coastal areas as well. Several parts of the city inundated. The Chennai airport has been closed down till 9 a.m. Now that's an extension. It was earlier closed down till 11 p.m. but now closed down till 9 a.m. So no flights in and out of that city over the last at that time, so all through the day and then till tomorrow morning. The images that are coming out of Chennai, deeply disturbing. 3 people, we believe, have lost their lives in Chennai rain. The cyclone, as I mentioned, is set to make rainfall in Andhra Pradesh. There you have it, the eye of the storm, very close to the Andhra Pradesh coast, somewhere near Machilipatnam. Michaung is to make landfall in a few hours. Landfall expected between Nellore and Machilipatnam. Red alert sounded in Andhra, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Torrential rain in Chennai and neighbouring districts. Several places public holidays have been declared. Flights, as I mentioned, hit. Runways closed. Chennai rail services, several transportation services affected. Chennai airport to remain closed till 9 a.m. tomorrow. Most parts of the city submerged, and bringing back images of the haunting Chennai floods, boats on the streets as well in some areas. Remember, that time it was the release of water from lakes that led to floods. This time it's purely heavy inundation in low-lying areas. Obviously, when there is high tide in that city, the outflow of water into the sea is very difficult. Cars submerged, electricity and internet services disrupted as expected. You got several reactions that came in on this cyclone situation, including from the Home Minister, who tweeted out asking for preparedness in Andhra Pradesh, as well as several other comments that are coming in. I believe we can go across to my colleague Pratibha Raman, who is tracking the cyclone. She's somewhere near the coast of on the coastline, waiting for it to make landfall. Pratibha, just give us the latest update that you're picking up in terms of preparations as well as in terms of the inundation and damage that's happened already.
Well, in fact, as far as people of Andhra Pradesh are concerned, yes, all of them are sitting on the edge of their seats, precautionary measures being undertaken. The last that I spoke to was the district collector of Krishna district, and that is one of the districts where it is expected to make a landfall, the cyclone that I'm talking about, especially in and around the districts of Krishna, where the weather department has mentioned that there would be heavy to very heavy rainfall expected until December 8th. Precautionary measures in terms of at least 64 relief camps that have been set up in the coastal region of Krishna district alone. And the place where it is expected to make landfall is Bapatla, which is just about 150 kilometers away from where I'm standing exactly now. And several relief measures in terms of medical health camps as well as relief camps, plus the paddy, the crops that have been shifted to different go-downs to ensure that the farmers are relieved. And most of the farmers as well as people living in the low-lying areas have been shifted. At least around 8,000 people is what they are aiming for to be shifted into these relief camps along the coastal regions of Andhra Pradesh. And what we also hear is that the cattle will also be moved to these relief camps. So a lot of measures like this being undertaken, and disturbing images from Tirupati as well in Andhra Pradesh. In fact, that is also one of the neighbouring districts here, where a lot of the elderly are being carried from the low-lying areas by the police officers to the relief camps. And a lot of these NDRF as well as SDRF teams have been set up on standby to ensure that people's lives aren't affected, to ensure that all of them stay safe. Red alert, like you mentioned, have been issued across all of these districts, as well as the CM tweeting out to people asking them to remain safe and remain indoors at this point in time. Where I'm standing right now too, which is Vijayawada, which is around 170 kilometers away from Bapatla, where the rains have already begun, and all of them are staying indoors to ensure that life isn't affected here. Veera.
Pratibha, you take care. We know that you are on the journey up to where the cyclone is expected to make landfall. You take care of yourself on that road and keep updating us. We can also go across to Sam Daniel, who is joining us now from Chennai. Sam, of course, you've had a very long and difficult day reporting on this in hip-deep water in most places. Just take us through the situation in Chennai and what's being done right now.
Well, there's no respite yet from heavy rains, Veera Raghav. Even as we speak, it's pouring. The Met Office has said around 11 o'clock we can expect the rains to stop, because by then the cyclone would have left Tamil Nadu's coast and would be heading towards Andhra coast. I spoke to the Commissioner, Dr. Radhakrishnan, a short while ago to get a sense of the larger picture, as we could not travel ourselves much into the city. He says the entire city is equally spread in terms of the inundation. The major challenge they face now is what he calls major backlash from the sea, as the waves hit back on all the 4 outlets that take all these waters into the sea. That's because of the cyclone, but once it moves away, the intensity will come down, and then he says the waters will be able to be carried faster. From the moment the rain stops completely, the corporation hopes within 12 hours much of the waters would recede, and the waters left in the low-lying pockets, they'll be able to quickly pump them out. But as we speak now, Veera Raghav, lots of areas in Chennai do not have power supply for the whole day. So it's going to be a difficult night for many. It's going to continue to rain, and for people living in low-lying pockets, waters have entered, and that's going to be another challenge. But as we speak, around 4,000 relief centers are active across Tamil Nadu, and a statement from the Chief Minister, which I could not read because my phone went dead, says they are encouraging as many people from low-lying areas to move to these relief shelters. They are not hastily restoring power supply because they want to audit the safety aspect first. That's why hundreds of electricity workers have been moved to these areas from neighboring districts, and he says it will be restored as soon as possible, but he's asking people to cooperate with the authorities, not to venture out unnecessarily. And lastly, it's a public holiday tomorrow as well, both in Chennai as well as the 3 neighboring districts of Chengalpattu, Kanchipuram and Thiruvallur. And private companies have also been asked to allow people to work from home. Again, transport services including rail services and airport have been very badly hit. Airport will be shut till 9 o'clock in the morning. Many trains cancelled or diverted. And again, local bus transport and local train services, except for the metro, all have been very badly hit. One saving grace, it's a public holiday, and the government's proactive measure in that sense has kept a bulk of the population confined to their homes, except for those who had to come out. So it's going to be an anxious night. People only will hope that the cyclone will leave Chennai coast or Tamil Nadu coast without causing much havoc, and the extent of damage in terms of loss to property, including hundreds of cars across the city, would be known only after the rain stops tomorrow. Home Minister has spoken to the Chief Minister here, and has, according to the statement from the government here, he has promised all assistance in terms of relief measures once the state gives the extent of damages. Veera Raghav.
Sam, it's a very, as you mentioned, extremely concerning, anxious night for many. Spare a thought for those in the huts and the slums which are on the seaside in Chennai. And you made some very important observations as well in terms of as the cyclone flows in, the waves lash on the sea and the drainage system collapses then because the water gets pushed back into the sea, into the land, resulting in more inundation. So it's until the winds stop, you're going to see this kind of inundation in Chennai. Sam, there's been a lot of focus, of course. I don't want to get into a post-mortem of what went wrong. Obviously, several questions need to be raised in terms of how the systems work, but we'll leave that for another day. For the moment, any particular areas which are more affected than the rest? We know, of course, the coastal areas will be, but in terms of inside the city, which are the areas where you're seeing most flooding at the moment?
One is Perangudi, the Velicheri pockets, and many pockets along the OMR where they do not have a functional stormwater drains yet. Also, it got aggravated because Perangudi, for instance, in 24 hours received 29 centimeters rain. And these areas also have Many lakes and water bodies, they're all running full, and that's why this particular part of southern Chennai was hit because of heavy rainfall and also because of the geographic conditions with low-lying areas around water bodies, Viraraga.
Well, these are price we pay perhaps for the way we develop our cities. Perungudi that you're talking about, Velachery, which once used to be a swamp, a huge sponge which would take up all the water, turned into urban pockets with very little space for water to leave. But of course, those are conversations for tomorrow. Sam, Daniel, you please take care of yourself. I know it's extremely difficult. It's not just your phone that's running out of battery. You need to take care of yourself as well as bring in the latest reports in for us. Obviously, to all those in Chennai, we'll have to wait till the cyclone makes landfall and the wind speeds and the waves reduce for the water to start draining out. We'll keep a close tab of it all through tonight as well as tomorrow in terms of how this develops. A humanitarian situation as well there as far as that inundation is concerned in Chennai and in other parts of coastal Andhra Pradesh. We'll slip into a short break, but the news continues here on NDTV.